What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back. So, we got old G-Roy on the lift right now. And today, we're going to be putting the 6.0, the 480, the converter, the headers, all this jazz on here in preparation to get this thing running for the end of September. The goal is to get this running and the black G35 running by the end of September. There's a no prep that they're having. Not sure if I'm going to have a drag pack on both cars, but I may just have it on one. Also need to find some Hoosier CO7s. I really want to take this car on the Nitrous instead of the turbo car, but if we get the turbo car running, that'll just be an added bonus. We can just go road racing that weekend. So hopefully it'll be filled with a bunch of racing. But I'm gonna give you all a rundown of the entire setup. So right here, I have a 480. I bought it used with the motor. They were both grind the hell up. This transmission was actually trash when I got it. I paid, I think, $2,000 or $1,500 for the motor and transmission. The motor was in really good shape. It just had more oil on the outside of it than it had in it. Bearings, cam bearings, all that stuff looked fine. It has a Texas Speed 228 R cam in it with the 110 LSA, I believe. So I don't know if it's going to chop very much or not, but it should. We're using the Vic Junior intake manifold, AT 102 throttle body, has the spring retainers, whole head package from Texas Speed. It's got Michigan Motorsports training upgrade. It has a LSA oil pump. I use LSA oil pumps in all my builds. It has a modified Wien oil pan, and with that oil pan, you also have to modify the subframe, which I already did like 15-20 videos ago. The transmission, my buddy Alexis helped me completely rebuild the trans, showed me how to do it. It's quite simple. It's a 400 with overdrive basically. We got all new clutches, steels, trans pump. We have a Sonics boost valve in there. We did the dual feed, and I forgot what else we did. We had to put a new sun gear in there. The entire back half of it from, I guess, second gear on was trash, so that's all, has all new hard parts in it. I have trans cooler fittings on there, and the only thing left for me to do to the trans once I get it in the car and on the lift is to put a strainer in it and bolt the, well, I have to modify the pan because when it came from the junkyard it just stabbed a hole in it and drained it instead of just pulling the drain plug. Don't know why, but we're gonna do that. And I also need to put the trans dipstick in there and measure the length for it. The the converter, I can't remember what converter it is, but it's a 3500 stall converter. Should work decently well for the Nitrous setup. Not sure. I don't know about Nitrous cars, but I guess we're gonna figure it out with that. If the Nitrous shit doesn't work, I'm gonna fucking slap turbo on this thing. So we're gonna have some money in this Nitrous stuff. Well, not really, because we got some solenoids here, and I'm doing a straight dry shot. I'm gonna put 80-pound injectors in here, and I'm gonna tune the Nitrous strictly off fuel. And yeah, I don't really like wet kits, because if you have a big enough injector, you can just control the fuel inside of the Nitrous with the injector, and it's one less part for the fuel solenoid to fill. I'll rather have the Nitrous solenoid fail than the fuel solenoid, because if it's spraying straight fuel and it has no way to compensate for it, I mean, it would be really hard for an injector to get fucked up and fuck the motor up if your fuel system's built right. What else? We got an LS1 water pump, F-body water pump, F-body balancer, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, I'm using ISR mounts. I've always used ISR mounts. They're like the cheapest mounts that you can get if you don't make your own mounts. They're like 400 bucks with that mount and a transmission mount, and they're polyurethane, so there's not a shit ton of vibration in the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on the motor and put the converter in the trans and slide the trans onto the motor. I have brand new bolts from ICT for the transmission, And that's probably going to conclude it for this video. I need to make a list of everything that I need. I know I need coils, spark plug wires, spark plugs. I have to get a the hell's this thing, a thermostat with the housing. I need to figure out a radiator for it. I need to get a Y pipe for the exhaust because I'm going to run a single 3-inch out the back, and I have the holly for it. I have another fuel pump hanger that I'm going to put in the car. I don't think I ever did take the fuel. I never took the fuel pump out of this car, so I'm going to just do a single Wilbur 450 in the car, or a Hellcat pump, and that should be able to supply enough fuel. We're going to put the car in the 85. We're going to use Siemens 80-pound injectors, or no, actually I have some what the hell are those things called? Decap truck injectors is what I'm going to use in here. So yeah, I'm going to use decap truck injectors in here, and they should flow about 650 to 700 cc, so pretty close to what a Siemens 80-pound injector would flow. And that's about it. Yeah, and I got the ISR long tubes. I got these for a smoking deal. I actually bought them from Njuku, and they got a bad batch sent to them, and which is really like a scratch and dent deal, where somebody jammed this side of the header into what the hell is that thing called, the jig, and it just bent the pipes at a weird angle back towards the motor, which it doesn't really bother me. So I got the headers for like $520 shipped, because I paid like $800 for it, and they sent me back like almost $300 for it. So because I bought them, and I bought them, and it was like a week later, and they still hadn't shipped out. I got no tracking or anything else, so I called Njuku, and I talked to a guy there. He was super helpful. If you ever need parts, hit up Njuku. Super great dudes. Not just because they hooked me up on this, but they're super helpful. It was on a Friday I called him, or a Thursday I called him. On Friday, he sent me the partial discount back, and they shipped the headers out, and I got the headers the following Tuesday. So like I said, if y'all ever need anything, just hit up Njuku. That's where I got the headers from. I did get the ISR mounts. I always buy my ISR mounts from Njuku because they have the best price. Their prices are also like 20 to 30% lower than the actual ISR website. So yeah, I also need to go over the suspension on this car. I might need to change some of these compliance arms. Like this one looks like it needs to be changed. I'm not sure. Yeah, this one needs to be changed because this bushing's blown, and that's gonna jack my 60-foot up. This one is good. I think this one's been replaced because it looks newer. But yeah, we're not running power steering, and yeah. Also, if you put front runners on this car, it makes it super easy to turn. I don't know about a full-size wheel, but this thing turns like a Honda Civic right now. So yeah. All right, just stay tuned. Alright, so I had to find this out the hard way many moons ago. If you want this motor to sit the furthest way possible, the ISR logo needs to be faced towards the back on these swap mounts. Because if you put them, oh wait. Yeah, it needs to face towards the back, because if you put them this way, it's going to sit the motor forward, and you're going to have a shit ton of nose weight. And that's why the Hippo had so much damn nose weight on it. Never knew that out until, well, never figured that out until I took the motor out. And if I would have knew that, probably would have still been together. Kick myself in the ass every day for turning that thing into a race car. And don't listen to your friends. Do what you want to do. Know what I mean? I hold this flex plate. Gotta make sure your torch converter spins. All right, so I got the motor in the car, got the intake manifold just resting on here, got the trans in also. I have to take this steering arm off to get the header in, and I may have to notch the trans on this side to get that side header in. This side probably have to do the same thing, so I'm going to go up with it and see if I can slide. No, I'm going to take the steering arm off first, push it to the side, then I'm going to go up with the car, see if I can slide the headers in without having to notch the transmission. And we're in. All right, so got the motor, trans in, trans mount on. Actually need to get the polyurethane bushing for the trans mount, which you can get at any local parts store. I got the headers on. If you want to make your life easy, you can either, well, the best thing you're gonna do if you're doing a motor setup is to take this thing off right here. It's like the lower subframe connector. You want to take that off so you can get the headers on. You are going to have to, if you have a 4L80, 6L80, well, not 6L80, but 4L80, turbo 400, 350, whatever trans you have, you're going to have to cut the ears off the transmission so that you can get the headers in there easier. Also, you cannot get them in from the top, and you cannot get them in from the bottom with that thing on. If you take this thing off, it just slides right in. And I wish this frog out there would shut up. But next thing that we're going to do is pretty much just wire the car, plumb the fuel system. I already have a pump here, just got to put it in. What else do I have to do? I'm doing a ABS delete, which I'll probably just do a whole video on it. So you got to get a a Willwood prop valve and a proportioning valve, and you also have to get God, I can't remember anything. Basically, it's got 2 holes like this and one. It's a junction block, so you can tie these 2 rear brake lines into a single line that'll go into this, and then one line from, I believe it's the front line. Yes, this front line from, and that's the rear line. This front line from the master cylinder will go into one side of this, and then this other line will go into the junction block that'll tie the 2 rear doohickeys things into. Have enough shit here to do a line lock, but I don't think the threads on the line lock are the same as like these, so I have to figure that out. I don't know if I want to do a line lock or not. I don't really feel like I need a line lock, but whatever. I'm gonna also try and do the sloppy trans brake thing with this also. Like I said, it's my first overdrive transmission, and it's also my first nitrous rear wheel drive car. I've had nitrous front wheel drive cars before, but I've never had a nitrous rear wheel drive car, so it's all going to be a learning experience for me with this transmission stuff and the nitrous on a rear wheel drive car. I do have a 4150 plate over here in my bolt box, and I also got it from my buddy who helped me build the transmission. So just got to slide this. I got to pull the elbow back off and slide this in between here, and we'll have a nitrous plate. I have nitrous solenoids over here. They're small solenoids. Well, a solenoid. It's a small solenoid, but I'm probably only going to put the car on like 150 shot. So these should be able to flow, you know, 150 shot. If it won't, then we'll find out. I don't know if this is a fuel solenoid. Yeah, it's a nitrous solenoid. And this is probably a fuel one. I need to find out if you can use a fuel solenoid as a nitrous solenoid too, because I put 2 kits on this son bitch and let it eat. But yeah, we got that. I just got to get a bottle of lines. I had a whole kit here. I had a Nitrous Express Proton kit, but it'll work better for somebody else, so I just sold it to them, and I'm sure I can find a nitrous bottle, a good nitrous bottle that's not like 14 years out of date, and it'll explode for like a couple $100 or like $50 or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and slide the radiator support back on it, and like I said, I just need to figure out a whole radiator hose. I have a parts list of everything that I need to get for this car. I do need to get an idle air control valve because I used one on the F100 that I'm building for Jacob. I'll probably do an update video on that. Well, a video on it, because I haven't done a video on it at all. I've just been kind of working on it sparingly on the weekends. And yeah, that's it. So there she is. She's in. And I'll probably got to get some Lawrence springs for the front, or see if not CX Racing, see if I was like a Max Pete and Rob would give me some coilovers for this, because it's gonna need it. Hopefully it got full bodies in the rear, so it doesn't use a spring bucket still. So I'm gonna try to get it running before the end of September so I can take it to that no prep shootout. Should do good. Do gotta get some Hoosier CO7s. I wish I could take some weight out of this car, but I'm not trying to spend like $800 to $1,000 on seats, because these seats weigh like 60 pounds a piece, so I could get like 120 pounds out of the car, but it might help me in the long run. Gotta clean all this shit up. I gotta get a damn automatic shifter again and automatic brake pedal. So yeah, kind of fucked myself by doing all this manual conversion stuff just to go back auto. Well, yeah, as always, comment, like, share, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm gonna try to keep working on this thing and making as much content on it as possible. I think I'm gonna get this car out this week, and I have some stuff to do to the black car, the turbo car. So I get the turbo car in here sometime next week and work on it a little bit, and then we can That car is more close to running than this car is, but it needs just as much stuff. So we'll see. As always, comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next upload.